Before we get into the review, I want to establish that for the most part, in these reviews, I'll be referring to characters by their English names. This will keep the review more streamlined, since on top of me just being more familiar with them, they're also basically just shortened versions of the cast Japanese names. Now that that's out of the way,
Digiport open! Yeehaw!
Digimon Adventure 2020's 3-episode premiere is what? The 4th time our Wargame has been revisited? From the infamous Frankenstein's monster that is Digimon the movie, to Digimon Adventure 02 Revenge of Diabolomon, and probably the most popular example and a movie I'm ashamed to say I still have yet to see, Summer Wars. An original work by Mamoru Hosoda, who not only directed the first 3 Digimon Adventure films, yes, that does indeed include Digimon Grand Prix.
ユンチであります。アグモン選手、あまりの緊張で催してしまったようでありますが、ユンチ流星群であります。まずクリアしたとクリアしたとクリアした。リタイア。
As well as works like The Girl Who Leapt Through Time and The Boy and the Beast. Because of this, there's basically no shortage of ways to experience the basic story of our wargame. That said, Digimon Adventure 2020's retelling is solid. More than that, it stands on its own as a 3-episode arc, which introduces the basic story and concepts of the modern-day interpretation of Adventure's world. Starting off rather similarly to the source material, both respective stories give Izzy an excuse to come to Tai's place, and the two find themselves the sole humans able to stand between Japan and disaster, though this is more true in the original OVA. We'll get back to why soon though. The first episode is mostly set up with Agumon and Tai fighting a bunch of in-training Argomon. Tai participating in the battle leads me to believe that he'll have an even more assertive personality this time around. Think about that. We're talking about the brat, who was so stubborn, he pushed Agumon to the point he digivolved into the monstrous Skull Greymon, and put the collective Digidestined and their partners in danger here. Eventually, the episode wraps up nicely with the remaining Argomon digivolving into a champion Argomon, and an awesome real-time sequence of Agumon digivolving into Greymon to defeat it, and stop the real-world catastrophe that could potentially have occurred. The episode ends with the first appearance of Matt and Garurumon looking like absolute loner badasses. Matt and his partner Digimon appearing at the end of the episode is why I said Tai, his partner, and Izzy being the only ones standing between Japan and disaster. Well, it was more accurate in the film. The appearance of the mysterious turtle-necked boy and his partner Digimon imply the two have also been combating the digital menace in the background. Episode 2 elaborates on the two new characters that showed up in the final minutes of the first episode. Garurumon, while initially coming off as mysterious and a potential threat, soon reveals himself to be friendly with Greymon. The two even allude to a pre-existing relationship. However, Matt takes longer to come around. This, along with Matt having a much less direct way of communicating things, which even leads Tai to comment on it, really solidifies his loner personality. I mean, Matt and Tai haven't even argued yet, and I can already see just how much their personalities and leadership styles clash. Thankfully, this means Matt and Metal Garurumon's battle with Tai and War Greymon will probably be built up much better, since let's face it, who doesn't want to see this fight being adapted? Sure, I wasn't a fan of the original Adventure's execution of said battle, but it's always awesome watching two titans come to blows. Also, choosing Argomon as the antagonist of the premiere of this series was brilliant, because of his similarities to a certain Digimon, which at least made me think that originally Episode 2's preview was teasing a complete redesign of it. In fact, learning about Argomon has been a treat since it's never really made its way outside of Japan beyond its appearance in Super Crossroads Wars Blue and Red, and a cameo appearance in Hacker's Memory as a Digimon medal. And considering the only Digimon games I've played at this point are Rumble Arena, Digimon World Next Order, and the Cyber Sleuth games, and I barely pay attention to the medals, beyond how much yen I sell them for, should come as no surprise I wasn't privy to this mutant digital monster. That said, as good as a sales pitch as 2020's 3-episode Wargames arc was, from reintroducing beloved characters, high-staked battles that culminate in what feels like a hopeless situation, and an enemy that just keeps getting stronger and is threatening the destruction of Tokyo, and a potential world conflict with a nuclear bomb, leading to one of the hypest reveals in Digimon history. The end of the conflict is honestly pretty underwhelming, since Omnimon, the absolute badass that he is, basically turns the battle into a squash match. For those of you that aren't familiar with wrestling, this is a squash match.
What happens when you get Orange Cassidy angry, Taz? Yes, no, I know. He's very unpredictable. He's very unorthodox. Elbow pad Skonski.
Oh, buddy! The big shot from Orange Cassidy. Wow!
Now that match might have reminded you of every Omnimon battle ever, and that's because, to be fair to the reboot, Omnimon has a habit of cutting through enemies with little to no real difficulty. So this is more an Omnimon problem. It also doesn't change the fact I'm very happy with how these initial episodes turned out, from setting up an almost Code Lyoko aspect to the series, with the efforts of the Digi-Destined and their opponents often affecting the real world, to an understanding of what made the original series work. The 2020 Adventure series has a bright future ahead of it, and I hope you join me as we continue to look at where this series goes. Until then, this is Mad Silence signing out.